are watching the Garden Corner Show. We are a show where we're crazy passionate about everything gardening that we know of. Only thing is, we're very, very real. I am J-Dog, Jonn Karsseboom. I'm out here with Mr. Dave. We are amidst a bunch of heather that I'd like to tell you about. Heather of all plants. First, I want to give a quick shout out to our new fans because our community, surprisingly, amazingly, is just growing. We are building a community of amazing gardeners. So hello to Deanna Gonucio Dube, Annette Horeen Coyle, Katie Barber, Mary Wilder. Mary, I love your pick. You got that flowering cherry behind you? Nice touch. Linda Pedretti. Linda, I have never been friends with a lizard. It makes you very, very interesting. Gulch-Distow, Cambria. Gulch-Distow, you are the first Gulch-Distow that I know. I know you're tired of spelling your name, but hello, I'm glad you're here. Mark Road. Mark, cool pick. Keep marching to your own drum. Kathy Johnson. Hi, Kathy. Joey, Sylvia Mithaug, Debbie Espinosa, Darlene Krunig Hobson, Joan Holquist. Joan, what's your pup's name? She's got a little puppy. It's very, very cute. Well, I don't know a puppy. It's like a dachshund puppy. They're still small, but not really a puppy. Brian Kane, Rusty Taylor, Carla Engstrom White. I hope welcome you guys. I hope you enjoy. I hope you get something from the show, and I hope it moves you forward in your passion of gardening. So let's get right down into it. We're talking about some heathers. Heathers, by the way, I'm going to talk to you about some Ericas and some Callunas, which are winter blooming heathers and some spring blooming heathers. So right now we are amidst the winter blooming heather. Now these are long-standing, tough as nails, what did I call it? Workhorses of the garden. And they shouldn't be underestimated, as you know. If you have areas in your garden that are just a little bit too far out of touch to give it the care that you really need, the heathers are a great plant to put in. Now you can do it in beds, you can do single plants. Show you a little bit on how to, some tips on your heather. First of all, about shopping for heather. They're a great value. The Ericas generally come in a Mediterranean pink and a Mediterranean white, but there's some new varieties as well. Let me show you. So there's the pink and there's the white. You see that? So again, you've seen them around. Now when you shop for Ericas, one thing to look at are, let me grab one here. One thing to look at is how well rooted your root system is. So when you get a nice big root system, that's a good sign. Here's the tip: when you plant the heathers, take a razor blade if you have it. You can also do this with your pair of pruners, but try to cut it in about an inch deep, and then just slice it right along the edge. What we really want is that you want that root structure to get out and about. So also a tip on your heathers: make sure you amend the hole. So even if you have a bunch of them to plant, dig it just as deep, go wider, amend it, use biotone. I'm a big thing on biotone. Make sure all essential nutrients are available. Then water that first year. After it gets established, you're really good to go, but very important. Now, don't be disappointed. Sometimes even the best of growers, you plant 10 of them, maybe 1 or 2 might die. I do want to tell you about some new heathers as well. So there's a Mediterranean pink, Mediterranean white, but there are some what they call technically red, which is really deep pink, but they give you a good impression of a red. So this is Porter's red. There's also a Kramer's red. Keep a sharp eye out for that. That might be a nice change of pace for you. And you can also do red, pinks, whites all together to do kind of a patchwork in the landscape. Now, those are the Ericas. There are also the Callunas, which are really summer blooming heathers. Now, summer blooming because they technically bloom in the summer, but let me show you one. Actually, let me show you a couple. So these, I don't know, is this okay, Mr. Dave? You good? So this is a summer blooming heather. Now, the only reason why they're called summer blooming is because they color up in the summer, but they're really famous for their foliage. So, summer blooming heathers, buy them for the foliage. You can see how striking this is. Can you catch that on the camera? So, the very striking new growth on the Callunas. This one here is called Spring Torch, but just looks and feels like spring. So keep an eye out on the Callunas. They are great in the landscape, but also great in containers too. Now, it also can be some very striking. This is a red one. It's called Winter Chocolate, a new variety. So that might be something you might enjoy as just something a little bit different. So again, it blooms in the summer. Not such a big deal because they just bloom and then they're done. But they are famous for that new growth that's very, very striking. So anyway, I hope that helps. Was there something else I wanted to add to that? Mr. Dave said we're good to go. I've got everything down, but I do have a question that I'm just wanting to know. Oh, by the way, I'm down here with the heathers. When Mr. Dave came in this morning, he goes, "What is that fragrance?" And it is very fragrant. And I want to say, the best way I can describe this fragrance is that it smells like spring. It really does. It kind of gets my heart going fast. Or maybe even, I don't want to say quite fresh cut lawns. It's just really a nice fragrance, especially if you get a whole bunch of them like that. But anyway, here's the question: is what reminds you that spring is here? There's a couple of triggers that say, "Hey, spring is sprung." So I am very interested. So leave a comment. Anyway, that's the show for the day. Please leave a comment. I want to know. I'm very, very interested. That's the show for the day. Meanwhile, always live your passion.
You see me right out of the sunset on the color TV screen. I'm